Hi, this is Tyson Paul from WeOnTheLaughs.com, and today I'm with Daphnique Springs. Daphnique has a new comedy special out on Hulu right now as part of LOL Live, and she's with a series of comedians and stuff, all executive produced by Kevin Hart. So, Daphnique, I watched the special. I love it. I do have a lot of questions about it because I want to know if a lot of things that you say in the special are real or kind of embellished. But the way you were telling the story in there, it is not embellished at all. I think everything you said was pretty true. But my first question to you is, so you recorded this, I want to say, as part of the Kevin Hart LOL Festival last year. But like, I do remember that you had recently had your own comedy special come out around that same time. Like, so I guess my first question to you is, how did you adjust, like coming out with your own comedy special on YouTube and then turning around and having to record basically a new set of material for the LOL Live show?
It was actually, you're right. That's crazy that you hit that, you nailed that because it was such a quick turnaround from shooting the special to releasing the special. And I would say that as a comedian, I feel like I need at least like a year to come up with a whole new set. But
Yes.
what happened was I had moved back from New York City. So I spent 2 years and 3 months in New York. I got passed at the Comedy Cellar September 2022, November 2022. I moved to the Comedy Cellar. I was performing weekly at the Comedy Cellar, the Stand, and the New York Comedy Club. And where I went from LA performing probably like 10 shows a month, I was doing 60 to 71 shows a month. So with all that repetition, I had jokes. So I took all of this material that I had actually acquired over the course of 2 years. And then I put together a special, which dropped. And then for the Hulu special, I just went back and looked at all old tapes and then pieced everything back because it was all the stuff that I was going through in life, and family dynamics, relationships, and just stuff about me. So I was able to go ahead and put those pieces together and form that set very quickly.
Okay. So about the time frame, like, because did you re already record the special for YouTube and then like probably like the next day or the next week, like they informed you like, oh yeah, you're also going to be selected as part of Kevin Hart's LOL Live. Like how long was the process in between of having the special done and then knowing that you were going to have to do this?
I would say it was probably like a 3 month process.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. So yeah, it's not, so it wasn't as quickly as a turnaround because I know a lot of people like were probably looking at it like because I was last year when I saw the headline that you were actually going to be a part of LOL Live, and then I was like, oh yeah, she just had a comedy special that is like on pace to do 1 million views like on YouTube. So I was like, how's she going to come up with new material so fast? But I'm glad that you did. And I think what we want to talk about is the material itself on LOL Live. Now, when you started out, like I want to say like the first joke that came out, how did you decide like, okay, this is my first joke. This is what I'm gonna like come out with and basically go from there.
Because I like to start with me. You know what I mean? Who am I? Who are you listening to? Then if you could buy into me, then the rest of the story makes sense. So yeah, I'm gonna start off with me. Where am I at in my life? My family is on me about having children. Then we can move from there. A lot of people relate to that nowadays. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
people are like, yeah, but because it comes to a point where you're younger, your family is like, you better not bring no kids in this house. Finish school, get a job, go to college. But then when you get 30 and you still haven't popped out with your grandbabies, parents are like, oh my God, are you going to do it before I leave this earth? And you're like, oh Lord, let me give you some company.
Yeah, it definitely, and it must be even more hard for you because like your family, like obviously they're like, okay, you're successful, you're in your 30s, you're an attractive woman, like there's no way nobody wants you. Like there's no way. Like how's
People want me, but
Mhm.
do I want them to be the baby daddy? Now that's where the dynamics change. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well then also because I also remember on the joke, one of the jokes was like you kind of just want to be a single mom so you can have a LeBron James and
Yeah,
stuff. And
yeah, because single mothers are producing the best athletes.
yes, yes,
When you have a father, 1% might be a great athlete, but with no father, you got a 90% percentile chance.
I think the only way you can have a successful athlete as with a father, he has to be light skinned. Like that's the only ones that's working right now.
That makes sense.
The mellow balls and stuff. So if you want to marry LeVar or something like that, you can work on that. But coming out with that and like being so open because your material is very, very raw. Like if people were seeing you for the first time, like they might clutch their pearls a little bit, but like once they see you and like get to know you and stuff, they know you're edgy, but it's all coming from a good place. Like how much of it, like, because you dove a lot into your family, like, how much is it of your family that is like kind of like overbellish, but like
Would
just
say none of it is over embellished, but you would have to meet my family to know that. You'd be
I don't
like,
know.
okay,
I don't know if
now I
anybody
see
can be
what your
prepared.
mama would do with that life insurance money. It makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I just know my family is gonna go all out there, and I just stopped it at the BBLs, but they probably gonna get a card that get a whole bunch of stuff, clothes or whatever. And I don't want y'all to live life that well without me here. Just
yeah. So, are you the quietest in your family? Are you the loudest?
I would say I'm one of the quietest.
It's always funny because it's always one of the quietest ones are the ones that always want to be the comedians or entertainers in the family. Like it's never
Absolutely.
the loudest ones in the family. They are loud, but then when somebody's like, "Oh, you should be an entertainer," they're like, "Nah, that's not for me. That's not for me." But it's
No,
always
then they go into this little turtle shell.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, so that's kind of interesting that like you're the quietest one, or one of the quietest ones in your family, but then also the entertainer in your family. I want to ask you basically about the crowd throughout the special. So like was it hard to get them energized? Like because I know during like that this special like it wasn't like a normal special that you tape where everybody is expecting like they're coming to see you. Like I know it was like built over a few days where it was a lot of comics. So it could get a little bit like over like exposure or over
Oh, but
like
they're not using the same audience.
yeah. Oh, so they're
And
not.
then as the individuals, we're posting and inviting fans and family and friends to the show as well. So,
Mm.
I had a lot of people who already knew who I was based off of social media that was in the audience, family, friends that were there to support me during my taping.
Yeah, no, so I
So
want
yeah, the same people that taped on another day don't have the same audience. If so, I'd be tired of us too.
yeah, right. Yeah, because I do remember you had that joke, like, and you kind of reference some of the comics. You're like, it's like some of the comics you be laughing at all day. I'm telling you the serious truth. This is all my stuff. But I want to ask you, basically, when you were basically taping your part, how did you know which parts? Because like I want to say like there were some parts in there that I felt like okay, like usually she uses this as an ender, I can already tell, and then you kind of had this in the middle. Um, there was one seat. I remember like watching your special. There was one person like in the front row that was just sitting by themselves that I noticed that you looked at like a few times. Like as a comic, like we know like when we're like doing our show, we see somebody like an empty seat in the front row, but the rest of it's packed. Like you have to, how hard was it for you not to ask, like, where's that person at?
You know what? I think when I'm shooting a comedy special, sometimes I'm not even there to perform for the people in the room. I'm there to perform for the cameras.
Mhm.
So
No.
even though I know the people are in the room and I'm gonna acknowledge, I won't make a point to call out certain things like that. Whereas if I'm in a comedy club, more relaxed, people came to see me headlining and stuff. Yeah, you make reference to that. But at the comedy special, it's like yes, it's hundreds of people in this room, but it's a possibility for millions of people to see this. And over time, because specials like this live over time where somebody could go back and watch it 5, 6 years from now. You have to perform for the cameras.
Yes, yes, because actually crowd work is a very, very big trend right now. So how like I noticed during your special, you're probably the only special really like out right now, really where there's no crowd work and it's just straight storytelling. What are your thoughts on crowd work right now, and how do you like know when to use it and when not to use it?
I love to use crowd work. But I just think that if so, it could be a crowd work special. But if you do see me live, you sit in the front seat, you might get roasted a little bit. You might want to sit all the way in the back where I can't see. Because as I get older, you can't see as far in the dark all the way in the back sometimes. So
Mm-mm.
yes, if you come to see me in person, but I actually gear like my set towards that. The last 15 minutes will when I finish my complete set, the last 15 minutes will come back and gear towards that specific audience with crowd work. But I think that it's important when you get an opportunity like this from LOL. For me, it was important to tell my story, you know, and
Oh,
let people buy into me and not crowd work. But I
oh.
love crowd work.
Nice, nice. Okay, so you have a big social media following, right? And
Yes.
you're known for coming out with different sketches. Some of them like we want to know if they're real or not. Some of them we just kind of like, okay, we know it's a really good sketch. Like okay, and now you got fans coming to your show. Like you got fans coming to your show from your sketches and not really knowing your stand-up. Like how difficult is it to merge like because people want to see like the person from the sketches, but then also you want to still like this is a comedy show. So how hard is it or how easy is it for you to basically switch your characteristics when on stage?
Because I don't do I just do a genre like listen, Crazy Girlfriend sketches.
Mhm.
I don't do a bunch of characters and voices, so I don't think people come to see that. And plus, I've been doing stand up longer than I've been doing sketches, and then I have put out pieces of stand up for you to see. So then you see that it's a different dynamic. But because you bought into the sketches, you come to see me live. And I think it's the same thing when you have people go see people that have performed on any late night sketch show. You know what I mean? The Living Color and stuff like that. When I saw Damon Wayans, he wasn't doing characters, but I mean, this was recently within the last few years. He wasn't doing characters from In Living Color, but that audience from In Living Color is still gonna go see his stand up and just listen to his story, how he talks about his brothers, his family, his kids, his grandchildren, and people buy into you as a character. But I think that every stand up comedian, unless you do impersonations, is kind of like a different little balance.
Got it. Got it. That's a great way of putting it. Great way of putting it. Okay, we only got a few minutes left, but I kind of want to ask you this before we go. What do you have now? Now that the special's out, what would you like for people that haven't seen the special? Like, what would you like to say to them to go and watch the special? And then also, what do you have coming up next as far as like touring wise or sketches or social media wise?
For people who have not seen my comedy special, LOL Live with Daphnique Springs on Hulu, I suggest you go watch it. It's a good time. You're gonna find out women are funny. We great contenders, and you're gonna laugh and you're gonna relate and you're gonna feel an emotion. And I hope that that emotion encourages you to come see me live because I do tour all across the country. My website is www.imdsprings.com. So I hope to meet you.
Oh, yes. Oh, that is great. I definitely can't wait to see you live. And I know the world is going to just make your career flourish even more and more. So I want to thank you for giving me this time to basically talk to you and talk to you about the special. I think I'm going to watch it again tonight because
Oh, now we need two views.
yeah. And then I want to plan a trip like with you to Vegas, but I mean, I want to be around you just to get the free stuff. Like,
Okay, give me about another 3 years. We might be able to do a little cocaine. No
ah.
Diddy. Nah, I'm just joking. No drugs. No drugs.
No, just but thank you, Daphne. I can't wait to talk to you again. See you real soon. This is Tyson Paul from WheelOfLaughs.com, and this is Daphnique Springs. Make sure you check out her special LOL Live currently on Hulu. Thank you.